Hello and welcome to episode 5 of the Dig Site podcast. My name is Danny and I'm joined once again by Mr. Ben J. Marsh.
We're here.
And you love him. Japanese chefs hate him. It's just Greg.
Okay. Lacking context for that one, I guess.
Yeah, well, we went to a Japanese restaurant yesterday and just the chef, for I don't know what reason, just took a liking to Greg and just decided to periodically fuck with him.
You gave me loads of extra stuff, in fairness.
Did he?
Yeah.
Just
Trying to tell you something.
Extra serving of rice, extra serving of vegetables.
Fucking fake sauce bottle squirted in your face and stuff. It was just, yeah, I loved it. It's killing me.
Yeah.
All right, Star Wars: The Last Jedi is here. We've seen it. We're going to talk about it in depth, as always. Spoilers for when we get to that. But first, I thought it's worth talking about. Disney made a deal with Fox. I think Disney now own Fox. Is that right? So they own all the Fox-owned Marvel properties now. So things like X-Men,
Yeah.
Fantastic Four, Doctor Doom, etc.
So they own
Deadpool.
Yeah, the entirety of 20th Century Fox. I think there's some other Fox properties that aren't included in the deal, like Fox News isn't. I don't know why the separation. I don't think Fox News is, but yeah. So in theory, all your X-Men, Deadpool, and I'm sure they have licenses to a bunch of others that they've not used yet. So then they get kind of united under the banner. So now Disney, barring Sony, they already have the deal with anyway. Like Disney are the Marvel company.
Yeah.
It was something along the lines of 56 billion, wasn't it? Absolutely massive sums of money.
Yeah, a lot of money.
So there's still ongoing Fox projects like Deadpool. Like, do you think they'll be allowed to continue, or do you think they'll be putting a halt to that and then starting their own stuff under the Disney banner?
You know, I don't know. I don't know whether there'd be another Deadpool sequel after number 2. Maybe.
Mm-hmm.
But
Disney are all about money.
Oh yeah, I have no doubt that they're going to use it. Just whether or not they're going to just like cut it off and start it. I think with the X-Men, it's fair to say they're just going to start again.
Yeah, I agree.
The X-Men's nicely wrapped, though, isn't it? So you can safely start again with.
Well, the younger generation thing got off to a really bad start anyway, didn't it? With Apocalypse. So
yeah,
who cares?
It all just felt a bit disjointed as it connected to the older cast and stuff like that.
Yeah, I mean, it's probably a good idea to get rid of that clusterfuck of a timeline anyway.
For sure, absolutely. But it was an enjoyable ride.
It means Wolverine can come back.
Well, yeah, it does. But do you think we'll be seeing an X-Men anytime soon, a new X-Men film?
No, not anytime soon. I don't think Fox will fund anything for it, and Disney's obviously going to think carefully how they're going to influence and put in X-Men into the Marvel universe, I'd feel.
I think it'll be it's going to be down the line, isn't it? It's going to be a few years, maybe after. I forget the phases. Maybe after the second Infinity War, whatever phase that begins, and I'm sure that does begin a new phase, doesn't it? Like Infinity War's the end of Phase 3.
Yeah.
So maybe the beginning of Phase 4 in what, like 3-4 years.
Yeah, then who knows where they'll go from there.
Then they can introduce the X-Men into the world.
It's going to be interesting how they introduce them into the world, because you would think that mutants have existed this whole time, right?
Well, they have, haven't they?
How do we explain their absence?
I mean, we've already got some mutants in the storyline, haven't we?
Scarlet Witch and
but they're never explicitly stated as such.
Well, they got the powers from the Tesseract.
Right, of course.
So
yeah,
I don't know. They sort of made the bed a little bit, but I'm sure they'll work it out. I'm sure
I'm sure they can do it.
They'll put their brightest minds on it for the sake of making money.
Yeah.
I guess
it's in good hands, isn't it?
One thing that I would like to point out there, though, is that would we have seen R-rated superhero films if it was owned by Disney? Would we have seen a Deadpool? Would we have seen a Logan?
Possibly not.
I wouldn't have thought so.
No.
I wouldn't have thought they'd stray into that territory. I think they'd probably put it, whatever it is at the moment, 12 or PG or whatever it is.
And Deadpool shouldn't be anything other than R-rated. because he just loses all of his.
Yeah.
That is the character.
Yeah, I agree. I think we might lose those. I do. I think we might lose them. I don't think Disney's going to be fond of limiting their audience so much by making it R-rated or 18 or whatever it
Yeah.
was, whatever the UK equivalent is. I don't think they're going to want to do it.
Or maybe a Netflix Deadpool, because they don't mind doing it there, do they?
Well, that's an interesting one as well, isn't it? So Disney were trying to, well, not trying to. We're going to remove all of the
That's right.
Disney properties from Netflix. So no more Marvel series on Netflix, so no more Daredevil after a certain point.
Mm-hmm.
I think that was part of the starting stages of the buyout of Fox as well. Like, that was kind of like
yeah,
a telltale
possibly.
sign,
So
yeah.
you look at something now. So they bought Fox, so they now own like Sky Go and Now TV.
Yeah.
And
Oh, right, really?
those
Okay.
are pretty limited to the UK. But
Yeah.
you know, you've got your streaming service there as it is. So if Disney wanted to make a new streaming service, then they've already got the infrastructure.
Yeah.
Yeah, like you said, Ben, you know, was this in the mind when they made that decision?
Yeah,
More than
you
likely.
gotta think so. I think if they do go ahead and reboot the X-Men, I think they should leave Wolverine out of it, at least in its first iteration. Because if you go back to like an X-Men 1, X2, it's the Wolverine show, isn't it? Really, with his backup.
Yeah.
So I think in a future X-Men they should let the X-Men shine, because it's like if we said like in the past with like a Star Wars, like if and we will get into this in a minute, but like if the entire of the Last Jedi was Luke, he would take away from all the other characters, and I think Wolverine does that a bit with the X-Men. So that's just my 2 cents.
Yeah, no, I agree to an extent. I think Wolverine's the most compelling character
Absolutely.
of all the X-Men. Period.
Yeah.
So
But even now, after what, like 10, 15 years of X-Men, we've barely seen the like full capabilities of a Cyclops or a Storm or so on.
Yeah. Yeah, because like you said, they're side characters. Yeah.
Yeah. So bring them to the forefront, and then bring in Wolverine as in a post credits or a second movie or something like that. That's what I'd like to see anyway.
Didn't we see Wolverine at some point in Marvel when he told him to fuck off?
No, that was X-Men
Days of Future Past.
First. No, the First Class, I believe.
Right. Yeah.
It was. Sorry. Yeah, it was.
Xavier and Magneto just kind of got
That's
together and
what
were
it was.
going around finding mutants, and it was a nice little Easter egg with Wolverine.
Don't know why I had it in my head then. I didn't know it was Tony Stark. I don't know why. That would have been nice as well, but no, obviously not.
They referenced that in Days of Future Past, though. I think when Xavier was having his period where he just didn't give a shit and hair growing out and stuff, and he said like, "I remember you. I met you once before, and I'll tell you what you told me, and fuck off." Yeah. But yeah, I'm stoked of where they're going to go with it. It's there's just so many possibilities now. Like I said, villains like Doctor Doom, Silver Surfer, Fantastic Four. It's just
which needs redoing anyway because it was terrible.
I didn't see that recent Fantastic Four. Have you seen it?
I've seen it. Yeah, it's still got it's still Doctor Doom and obviously same characters,
right.
But it just didn't hit the spot again. The first two from Fox was
trash.
With Jessica Alba ones that I can't remember the other guys. It was
Chris Evans.
It was Chris Evans, yeah. They were shocking. But this new one, they tried to get more into like the science fiction side of things and explaining more in depth of how the powers came about and interdimensional travel and all that sort of stuff. But again, it just didn't hit the spot with the powers. Just didn't feel like a superhero movie. It's just a money feeder, really.
Yeah, well, that's a shame. Yeah, so hopefully with this we can do these characters justice now.
Yeah.
Nice.
One of the things that I feel is going to be important though. So Disney now own the monopoly on all the biggest Marvel franchises, barring obviously Spider-Man, which they've got a deal for.
Mm-hmm.
One of the criticisms that I do have of the Marvel franchise is that all the films are a little bit samey.
Definitely.
And whilst the X-Men films aren't as good, they provided a different sort of superhero film.
Yeah.
Now all we're going to have is the Marvel films and the DC films. And the DC films seem intent on shooting themselves in the foot.
Mm-hmm.
So it just feels like a little bit of a monopoly. And monopolies don't lend themselves to innovation very well. So, like I said, would we have seen a Wolverine under Marvel, under Disney? Probably not. And we know how good that turned out, and the Deadpool stuff as well. It just, it's a little. There's a bit of a concern there that they're going to end up all being a bit homogenous and a bit pretty much the same.
Yeah.
But we'll have to wait and see.
Yeah, time will tell.
I think it's in good hands.
All right, from one Disney franchise to another, Star Wars, the Last Jedi. Spoilers from this point on. Yeah, shit, it happened.
It did happen.
I think I speak for the three of us when I say this film did not go down like any of us thought. It took some real chances. A very different feel for a Star Wars movie. Broke a lot of conventions. Sorry to Greg. What do you think of it, man?
Yeah, it felt pretty reactionary to the last one, didn't it? I always thought that the first in the new series, Force Awakens, was really heavily criticized for being too similar to A New Hope, and I can absolutely see that, and I can absolutely see why they made it similar. And I think that they maybe overcorrected the course for this one in some senses.
Yeah, I think so too.
Maybe a little bit too different, but overall, I really enjoyed the film. It's Star Wars. It's got so much going for it, but automatically it gets a few points in my book just because it's Star Wars. Whether or not I can kind of like hide that, I can try to suppress that sort of like fanboy kind of thing, where I look at it objectively, but ultimately I can't because it's Star Wars. It's always going to get a few points.
Ben, what are your thoughts?
As the movie started, the usual credit scroll, I had goosebumps, expecting a lot. And to quote, obviously, what you've said already, and quote Luke from the movie, things aren't going to go the way you think.
Yeah.
There was large aspects of it that I really enjoyed. Visually, it was stunning, as always.
For sure.
But I think we discussed it similar at the time, about broadening the universe. It was very linear.
Yeah, it's very much a very self-contained story, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was pretty much follow on straight after The Force Awakens, so the evacuation of the Rebel base, and it followed on from just that sort of, we're gonna run away, and that's pretty much what was happening for the duration of the film. Which, all right, there's very good parts within it, but they could have broadened it out a little bit more.
We've mentioned this a few times in conversations about it. It's heavy use on comedy, especially in the beginning.
Yeah.
Missing the mark in a lot of places. Like you mentioned yesterday when we were talking about
telephone call.
Yeah, the phone call in the beginning to the First Order ship and to Hux, and yeah, it just made a mockery of the First Order a little bit, and just it's hard to see them as a credible threat now, and not just for this, for actually a bunch of other reasons too. But let's talk about Hux as a character. While I've just mentioned him, I think following Force Awakens, he had a lot of potential to be a new kind of Tarkin type character. Yeah.
He's just been bitch slapped.
Yeah. I think they've kind of wasted him. Yeah, a lot in this, and Domhnall Gleeson's a great actor, and I think he plays him very well.
I think one of the things, one of the reasons for that is that. So when you compare a regular guy, I mean, an intelligent regular guy or whatever, against someone who's got force powers, they're always going to come off as inferior.
Yeah.
In the original trilogy, when Darth Vader and Grand Moff Tarkin argued, Grand Moff Tarkin would come out ahead because I think like Vader knew his place, and he's like, okay, no, I'm not gonna do it.
Sure.
Where really, Vader could like fucking snap his neck with a thought. Whereas this, they didn't seem to take the same care of making him not seem like a bitch next to Kylo Ren, who at times seems like a bitch as well. So Kylo Ren already seems like this petulant sort of like, still a bit of a child kind of guy. And then you just put him next to him, and it just makes him look all the worse as well. And then I think you've gone into this one where the comedy aspects and such make it worse, and he just doesn't come across any sort of credible leader, any sort of like credible threat to the. I mean, really, other than, I guess we'll get into it later. Other than the fact that the First Order is really big, and they've got loads of battleships or whatever, loads of money. Did they seem like a credible threat at this point, at the end of Episode 8?
No.
No.
Not at all.
You don't feel like anything like the Empire was.
No. Empire was smart, calculated.
And was backed up by Sidious.
Of course, yeah. So one thing I had to, what I really liked with its bold decision making, I really liked this relationship of Kylo and Rey throughout it. It was interesting. This
connection they shared. Yeah.
The connection they had through the Force, like on opposite ends of the galaxy. But that was cool. I liked the way that story unraveled. And then at its crescendo, I suppose, that was the moment where I'm sat forward and going, this was not how I expected this to go.
Do you think the connection justified seeing Kylo Ren with his shirt off?
Fuck's sake.
It was a little unnecessary, wasn't it?
Yeah. And he's got like his pants up around his like belly button like an old man.
Yeah.
It's just a little bit weird.
Yeah.
Do you know what? This is not well, it similarly is, but it's not related to Star Wars. The second movie, obviously, in the new revamps, is this one. The second movie in the revamps of Star Trek, they did exactly the same thing with a female. Randomly out of nowhere, she just got her top off.
Yeah.
Why does this have to be part of science fiction? Just throw
it. Is that Alice Eve's character?
Alice Eve, yeah, as Carol Marcus. It's like, what? Where did that come from?
I just think they always try to shoehorn a love story, a romance into these stories.
Yeah.
And I don't need Kylo Ren and Rey to suddenly fall in love.
No.
Well, I do find it interesting what they're doing with that is that Kylo is so infatuated with her.
Yeah.
I don't think there's going to be a romance. I certainly don't want there to be.
Yeah.
But I like that angle. He's almost in love with her. Like he's so enraptured with her.
I don't know about in love, but definitely obsessed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it could be.
I don't think he knows. Yeah, it could be. I don't think he knows what it is.
He's just fascinated at the minute.
But I like that angle. It's an interesting turn for the character. But yeah, that scene, the Snoke scene, that was so left field. It was a.
You're on about the fight scene, yeah.
Yeah, it's visually stunning.
Yeah.
The throne room, it's fantastic. The Praetorian Guards, I think they're called. Really cool. So reminiscent of Return of the Jedi. Yeah, if yeah, it looks great. But Snoke, this character, this big kind of menacing character, who is he from the Force Awakens? Who is he? How did he get to power? Um, how was he trained in the dark side? How does he know all this? All gone, just like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it,
Clap your
a
fingers.
very odd decision, and I'm still torn on it because the scene as a whole was great. The fight scene following his death was great. It's one of my favorite lightsaber battles I think I've seen.
I wouldn't
Yeah,
have
I
thought.
agree.
I wouldn't have thought we'll get an explanation as to who he was either in the next one.
I get that impression too.
I think they'll ignore that and maybe introduce him in one of these side stories that they're doing,
Yeah, in the books and stuff.
and then that'll
look
flesh him
forward
out
to
as something, well, as anything,
it. Yeah,
as we've got nothing from him at the moment.
bold move.
Yeah, but yeah, and that's, like I said, is it too bold of a move? Too much of a knee jerk?
I don't know. I guess it depends on because we're still in an incomplete story, so I can maybe make up my mind better when I've got a full complete story. If that was a good decision or not, but it's an interesting one nonetheless.
Yeah, I just don't see where it's going now.
Yeah.
From where it's ended, it's gone completely squiff. With who's there, who's available, which characters are remaining.
Yeah.
None
Leia's
of them are
still alive.
Leia's still alive. I don't. Yeah, how she's going to film the next movie.
If
I have
all
no idea.
characters to be alive at the end of the movie, I don't think any of us expected Leia to live.
Yeah.
It's that's another interesting one. I don't know how they could have killed her off. I guess if they hadn't filmed the scene. I guess they could have done it when she got blew out of the fucking cockpit into space.
Yeah,
exactly, that would have been simple, and it was beautiful.
Mary Poppins moment.
Yeah,
it was a beautiful way to end as well. It paused.
Yeah.
It looked at her. It was showing Carrie Fisher in all of her glory, in her light, just looking. Oh, she was dead. But,
so what would
it was it was visually great.
What would have the impact have been had they Leia goes out to that point? Great. That kicks Luke as he feels it in the Force into action.
Yeah.
Then he actually he does what he does towards the end of the film. Leia gets replaced by pink-haired, purple-haired woman who likes to keep secrets.
Holdo.
And then maybe at the end, when the plan is finally crystallizing, then she explains rather than having Leia explain.
Yeah.
What the plan was.
Could have done without Leia for the rest of it.
Yeah.
It didn't.
Yeah, I'm sure they could have gotten around that, but again, another bold move, another bold decision. They chose to keep her in. If JJ's got his work cut out for him in the next one.
Are
they getting JJ?
Yeah, he's
absolutely doing the next.
He's on to direct the next one. Yeah.
Okay, fantastic.
So I don't know, maybe another CGI Moff Tarkin thing, potentially. I don't know what they're going to do with her, because we can't. There's no way she can't be in it at least a bit. She was so instrumental in this one. We can't just not have her around. It would be shit if they kill her off in between films, in a book or something.
They can't.
I know exactly. So it's just what can they do though? It's it's interesting. As you mentioned that the whole Mary Poppins thing with the Force. It's just we know that she has limited Force capabilities. She felt hand-eye and stuff, and I think the books have gone in on that. I think it's canon now that it said that Yoda actually wanted to train Leia rather than Luke. That's the thing.
I don't know. I heard that.
Yeah, I heard that. Weird. Her little float back to the ship. But yeah, that leads on to Laura Dern's character.
Yeah.
Which leads on to a splinter of stories that are
completely
pointless.
Unnecessary.
Pointless.
Yeah.
Shit. And unsuccessful.
Yeah.
All the while, the backdrop of the slowest chase in history is occurring.
Yeah.
The most uninteresting car chase ever on film.
Yeah.
Not in cars.
It was like watching Duel. It was like watching Duel. but there's just so many other ways that it could have gone. I mean, you've got you got the First Order. The First Order have got these massive ships. They are on being funded by planets, as we found out in this. They are pretty much everywhere. They can build star-sucking, planet-sized destruction things, but they don't have it in the brain capabilities to send a ship forward to wait for them and attack them from the front.
Yeah, so there's so many different ways that could have and really should have gone, but yeah, just if only she would have just been upfront about her plan.
Mm. Well, it was
the only person she was keeping it away was Poe. And for what reason?
Yeah, it was an opportunity to introduce Rose, though, wasn't it?
Yeah, again, another pointless act.
I don't know, her completely unnecessary relationship with Finn.
Yeah, so talking about romances, that was
came out of nowhere.
That's a romance that doesn't need to be.
Yeah,
if anything, the Force Awakens set up big time. I felt a romance with Rey and Finn.
I agree.
They really care about each other. It doesn't have to be that, but the seed set for that if that's the way they want to go.
Yeah.
Finn really cares. They really care about each other. Finn went out of his way to go back and save her, and you saw how much that meant to her when she finally finds out they have a big embrace towards the end of that movie. I think like the first thing Finn does when he wakes up is where's Rey?
Yeah.
Isn't it? You know, this whole thing with Rose and that whole plot line, chase scene with these weird fucking donkey things. I don't know what they were.
Yeah. As long as we saved one of the animals, this was all worth it.
Yeah, not the slave kids, just the animals.
Yeah, it's all a good success.
Oh, yeah, it was just pointless. Even fucking Benicio, and I love Benicio del Toro, but that was a shit character.
Just another prod to the cantina as well, and it just goes somewhere different.
Yeah, I get that, and that led to the Phasma scene, and let's talk about wasted potential in Captain Phasma.
Yeah, she was wasted in the first one.
Great actress in Gwendolyn Christie to play her. I said Christie. To play her, you know, big, imposing, winning from Game of Thrones. She's fantastic. All concept art leading it to The Force Awakens. Like, I can't wait to see that character.
Yeah, she was huge. Yeah,
she was wasted in that, but okay, next one, she will shine. And
they actually came out and said exactly that, didn't they?
Yeah.
In like the interviews after, you'll see a lot more of her next time, and it'll flesh out the character. No, not at all.
Yeah, I want to know who made the decision. How did that come about that we're going to do more, but then change our minds or whatever? I mean, technically she did more. She did a little more. She got shot at. She deflected it. She has the only armor in the galaxy that can deflect a blaster shot.
So why hasn't everyone got it?
I know.
Let's just put one soldier in this blast-proof armor. We're fighting with blasters. Should we just put them all? We've got the money to do it. Why don't we put them all in blast-proof armor?
Yeah. She
can't put a fight, and you're gonna win.
Disposes of Finn real quick, and then he comes back up on the lift, and then she's lying there with like her helmet cracked, and she's just lying there looking up. It's like, do something. And yeah, just falls in space. I assume dead, but maybe not. But
yeah, I'd probably think we'd see her back, all burned and all burned up.
Yeah. I think she'll be back. If it's blast-proof armor, it's fireproof. Let's go with that.
Yeah, but I'm a bit checked out on the character now. I don't care too much if she does return. That's what they've done to me now.
Well, yeah, I mean, she's just the latest in a long list of all underused characters, isn't she? Snoke,
Luke.
So do you think Luke was underused?
For the return, yeah. For last one and this one, yeah.
I certainly agree he was underused in the last one. I don't think he was underused in this one. Maybe you could argue that he was misused in this one. But I don't think he's never going to be the focus. He was never going to be the focus of this new trilogy. That's not the point of it. So he was
definitely an
in.
interesting use of the character.
Yeah, he was in for a decent amount of this. He was in it for arguably more than like Yoda showed up for in like Empire.
Again, what the fuck?
What Yoda?
Initially,
Yeah.
Doesn't
the
need
cameo
it.
from Yoda. Initially, I don't know. That's kind of grown on me over time.
No,
Now.
I've not.
I don't mind
I
it.
like what you said when we were there, and you said like that they gave the Yoda from the original 3
I
look
like that he was the
rather than a
puppet. Yeah.
CGI one. That
Yeah.
I agree was a good choice. However, I don't think they needed the pullback to Yoda because it didn't really do much.
No.
In way of story progression, it was more of a throwback.
Yeah, didn't need it,
Fan
but I did
service.
kind of like it. Yeah, fan service. You know what we didn't need? We didn't
The
need
fucking Porgs.
Well, yeah, we didn't need the Pogs.
We
Oh,
need
the
the
There's,
fucking
there's,
Porgs.
there's so many of these.
Oh no, they were
like,
great. I
we
like the
didn't
look of
need-
them.
Yeah, they look great, but what was the point of them?
No, it was just
Why
that was
why
just
not have them
showing on
do
the planet.
something?
But the Porgs.
Pogs are useless.
When they were jumping on that lightsaber, I swear to God, I was hoping they turned it on. I don't know if anyone else was, but when there was one jumping on it and one stood in front of it, I was waiting for it to go crisp. And when Chewie was eating one as well, and they were all going,
That's kind of funny, actually.
yeah. Chewie feels bad, and I'm like,
Yeah.
they just pop up on his ship in his fucking way, and he just bats it out the way. And
Didn't need the
just
Pogs.
everywhere.
Didn't need Kylo with his shirt off.
No.
A bunch of stuff. Didn't need fucking Luke squeezing on a weird camel titty and drinking some blue milk that runs down his beard. Could have done without that visual
Well,
of
the cow
Luke,
looks
really.
at Ray as well, like,
Yeah.
What?
Like, yeah, what are you gonna do? This is my life. Just I could have done without seeing Luke with blue milk down his face. Yeah, Luke was very interested in this. I thought he made great points to Ray early in this film about the Jedi and how they use the Force. Like, only the Jedi should have the Force, but no, because the Force is this thing that surrounds us all. We should all use it. You know, this is the Jedi should end, and I agreed with a lot of what you said, and they kind of backpedaled on that towards the end of it.
It reminded me a lot
thrilled.
of like the extended universe of like Knights of the Old Republic, the kind of things, the themes that are running through those is that like the Force isn't good or bad, it's not dark or light, it's just it just is. Depends on how you use it. And if you're a Jedi, you're only using half of it. And if you're Sith, you're only using half of it. You're not really like, you're not doing yourself any justice by treading the line.
That's right.
Sorry, the opposite of that. You're not really doing yourself any justice by not treading the line.
Yeah.
And closing yourself off to one side.
Yeah. There's so many abilities and powers for to use. It's illogical to cut yourself off from.
But you said like they backtracked towards the end, and yeah, they did. But I think like Yoda gave the justification for that, saying like, listen, the Jedi, like the texts of how it was in the past, that's irrelevant. Who gives a fuck?
Yeah.
The Jedi is more than just like these religious tomes that kind of say you do this, this, and this. It's something else. It's like a force for good. So if they bring it back in like that capacity, where it's like, okay, we're not going to be as strict to the doctrine as we had been in the past. We're a little bit more flexible these days, but we're always trying to do good.
Yeah.
Then yeah, it justifies the Jedi carrying on, and I think it justifies that backtrack.
Yeah. What were you saying about the text in the books? I think should have carried on with Rey. She doesn't need them, but she took them.
Yeah, clearly she doesn't need them.
She doesn't, because she's just super fucking powerful.
Yeah.
It's ridiculous.
Yeah. And I think that's a little bit of a gripe of mine. And it's the same with, well, to a lesser extent, Kylo, I guess. We've actually seen that Kylo's got some training behind him. Whereas she's just kind of like, she picks up this lightsaber and she's fucking god with it.
Yeah.
Like, oh god, okay, right.
Speaking of that lightsaber, though, the significance of that saber, going the journey it's been on. It was Anakin's he killed a bunch of kids with it. We don't talk about that.
Yeah,
It was it was Luke's. Luke lost it when he lost his fucking hand. That's gone on. That's travelled however far it's travelled to to end up in Maz's possession. It calls to Rey, and so on, and she
Ray
gives
and
it
Finn
back to
use it,
Luke.
yeah.
And yeah, Luke tossing it the way he did really rubbed me the wrong way. I didn't like that. Another questionable choice for me that didn't work. I thought this relic is so important. Luke hasn't seen this since he was on Cloud City when he found out who his father was, and for him to just toss it aside like it was nothing, I don't know. Also, in flashbacks um, when we saw Kylo, young Kylo, um, with Luke, is Kylo using that saber? I know he has a blue lightsaber, but is it that one?
I thought at first that it was, but it's probably not. It's probably just a blue lightsaber.
Yeah.
I mean,
I guess I'll have to.
It didn't make sense if Luke somehow came across it that he'd give it to him. Oh, here, me nephew. Here's the family lightsaber. There you go.
If Kylo had it, how would Maz have it?
Well, yeah. So this is what I'm saying. So
yeah,
if Luke somehow had it and it somehow made sense for it to pass through hands, then yeah, it could have made sense for Kylo to have it at that point.
Yeah.
But I we've got no justification that kind of pathway exists. As far as we're aware, Maz found it on.
Yeah, it's all speculation. Yeah. But she could still got it after Luke, because the whole place got destroyed, people died. And Luke showed how unimportant it is to him. He just tossed it aside. So fuck it, that ends up all in there in the rubble. Someone who Maz knows, or Maz herself, takes it from that site. But yeah, I thought it adds new weight to that line in the fight scene at the end of Force Awakens in the snow, where Rey takes it. And is it either Rey or Finn? And he says that belongs to me.
Yeah.
So maybe it did belong to him.
Yeah.
Ben, were you going to say something a second ago?
I was going to say I like the way on that flashback. We had Kylo's view, and then Luke's view when he was talking to Rey.
Yeah.
The way that Luke had decided, obviously, he was going to in a brief moment. You could see that the power within Kylo was going to be too great to comprehend, and he changed his mind. But what Kylo sees is literally him as he rolls over, and you've got Luke with his lightsaber like he's about to strike him down. And he feels betrayed, which is where his hate and anger's come from.
Yeah.
Well, no, it said already at that point that he'd been turned by Snoke.
Yeah, he saw the darkness in him, and that's why
he'd already been at least affected by Snoke. So I don't think it started there. It just kind of, that was like the straw that brought the camel's back, I guess.
Yeah. Pushed him to the edge.
Yeah.
But I like the way that unraveled. I like the way it told that story in the fragments and stuff. I thought that was kind of neat.
And ultimately it culminated with one, I think it might well be one of my favourite scenes of the entire Star Wars, full stop.
Luke's badass moment.
Yeah, like showing up right at the end.
Yeah. It was nice after the film, after seeing a downtrodden Luke who's a little scared and stuff. It was really nice to see Luke being Luke Skywalker.
Yeah, and it's so we've followed Luke's journey, haven't we? From like being a teenager, I guess actually not from being born. In a sense,
yeah, I suppose.
We've followed his journey, and obviously in A New Hope, he was just introduced to the world of the Jedi, world of Force, and he had no idea. In Empire Strikes Back, he get a little bit more competent, getting a little bit more, being able to kind of flex his powers with the Force, but still not really, because there's other shit going on. There's a war going on. He doesn't have time to sit and train for years. And then you see him in Return of the Jedi, where he's got some years of experience behind him, and he's more confident,
calm and collected.
Yeah, he's more of he's obviously a capable lightsaber duelist, and obviously ends up indirectly throwing down Sidious. Now, obviously, Luke had cut himself off from the Force for a long time, so we see him as just a regular guy for the majority of the film, and we're forever being shown in this film and the previous film all these kind of like new Force powers that no one's ever shown before, like Kylo stopping a fucking blaster bolt in the air.
Yeah.
Leia flying back in from outer space.
Yeah. So you're seeing these new things, and you'd expect to be introduced to these things through Luke, and obviously you're not. It's just Rey inexplicably being able to do this shit, and Kylo, being able to do this shit, and then it comes up and Luke does what he does, and it's like, yes, this is a Jedi Master. This is like none of your little chitty petty tricks. This is what Luke, who's been trained in the Force now for like 40 years, I guess, or something like that. This is what he can do. One of the most powerful Jedis ever, I guess. And he can beat the shit out of you from halfway across the galaxy.
Yeah. I loved it. It was great. Again, visually awesome to see all the ATs or whatever they're called now, the new models, just all the firepower
Walkers, I think.
Guerrilla walkers,
AT
all that
guerrillas.
firepower right there. I know you. I think you said, Greg, that you cottoned on by that point that was an apparition. That wasn't him. I didn't.
I
didn't
either.
Yet.
No.
Yeah.
So,
yeah. I don't know. It was the second he walked in. Yeah, it was the second he walked into Leia, and it was like, yeah, it's not. And obviously, I didn't know for sure. I wasn't like, yes, it's absolutely not him. But it was like, yeah, it's probably not him. It's something.
Man, that's where Star Wars gets me as well. Like when I watched I don't know, I'm not sure if I mentioned this in the podcast before. When I watched The Force Awakens the first time, I got kind of emotional and teary eyed watching first time I saw Han and Chewie run onto the Falcon. It got me.
Chewie,
I'm like, this is the first time. Yeah, man, I loved it because this is the first time I'm seeing these characters do anything new since I was a child, and these characters have been with me my entire life. So that was big for me. I love that. I got all choked up, and in the same later with
Luke and Leia.
With Leia, seeing Leia and Han, seeing Luke at the end too. That was great. Oh my god, it's Luke Skywalker. This is great.
For me, it's more just focused around Luke. Luke was always my favorite character of any.
Yeah.
I know a lot of people watch the Star Wars and they like Han the best because he's like cool. But like Luke's got a laser sword, man. He's got a laser sword. He's the coolest.
Luke's always been my favorite character. But all of them. I love them all. It's like I said, they've been with me my entire life. They're like family. So it's just great to see them. Rogue One, seeing the uniforms in the white corridor at the end, that was fucking.
Yeah.
I think I remember sitting next to Greg and like, Greg, oh my god, it's Star Wars. Star Wars is happening now. This was just great. I loved it. And in The Last Jedi as well, like that one scene when Luke came and he had his little moment with Leia, and I was like, oh, that's so nice. And it got me again a little bit. Nice, yeah. That planet was Crate, right?
Yeah, I think so.
So yeah.
Yeah. Really cool planet.
Red sand with white covering, crusted.
Yeah, that was it was cool. Visually, really, really interesting. And I liked just about everything that went down there except this defining moment with Finn.
Saving Finn.
Oh man, I mean, I'd like Finn as a character. I know you don't really like him too much.
I don't particularly like him, no. I
liked him a lot. From his first film and this, I like him a lot. And I don't want him to die, but if he was going to go out, that was the way, man. That was fantastic. He was going to sacrifice himself so everyone could get away.
Yeah,
and that was awesome. And Rose just ruined it, because she did what she wanted a kiss.
She wanted a kiss.
She wanted a kiss because she likes him.
Yeah.
I think the reason I don't like Finn as much is it's more to do with this movie, to be honest. his character in the first one, obviously, he was a deserter from the First Order, and which was great. He left, and then he was a coward for the whole, pretty much the duration. He was really realistically wanted to run away when Maz was in there. It was like they could see it in your eyes, etc. But then he builds up the courage, and he goes with Han to find Rey. So he's not running away anymore.
Yeah.
Then he wakes up in this, and his first point of call is to try and board an escape pod to fuck off again.
But not to desert.
Not to run away from the fight.
He wanted to go and save Rey. That was his point.
Didn't seem that way.
No, he did because he got the bracelet thing, didn't he? From Leia.
That was more so that he was getting that away, so that when Rey came back, Rey was coming back to that beacon. It wasn't so that it was to keep Rey from coming back.
Yeah.
But he was still running away from the fight.
But I mean, you can't run away from the fight if you're running towards Rey. I mean,
no, he wasn't running towards Rey.
I know, indirectly running towards Rey.
He wasn't running towards Rey.
I can't imagine
the beacon that he had was a return beacon for Rey, so they knew where everyone was.
Yeah, I know. But can you imagine, like, Rey finds him on, like, Tatooine or whatever, just playing.
Yeah, and she'd fuck off back up to help.
And she's like, "Oh shit, okay, what happens?" He's like, "Listen, I came here because shit went down, and you'd end up getting blown the fuck up." And she's like, "Oh, nice one, cheers. I'm gonna go and fight now." And he's like, "All right, okay, see you later." I can't imagine that happening. I think he's got over that kind of running away from the fight kind of thing.
No, he's not. He's not.
Well,
no, he's not.
Yeah, I agree with you, Danny. I think I like Finn. I think he's had a good character arc. He was a coward. Really, he was a coward. It's a bit of a harsh term, but he was a coward. Didn't want to fight. Wanted to get away. Kind of got over that. Fought his own battles, and now he's seen as a war hero, isn't he? Like the second he woke up, he's like, "Oh shit, you're Finn." Yeah, I think he's grown as a character. I like him. I think he provides an everyman sort of viewpoint because he's not like all fucking like lightsabers and bravery.
No, and I liked him again when he was fighting Phasma. That part I liked again. I liked him at that point, but it felt like it was switching between back and forth of his personality.
I didn't get it at all. Like, 'cause, I mean, he still went on that dumbass mission. He didn't think it was dumbass, but he went there for the greater good.
Yeah.
Yeah, in the end.
Not to run. I'm like, he didn't know how pointless the mission was, but he went there to do what he had. He went there to do what he had to do for the good of everyone. That wasn't him running. That was him doing.
Speaking of people who aren't cowards, and it's not necessarily a coward. I think her name was Holdo. General Holdo, the purple-haired one.
Okay, Laura Dern's character.
Yeah. Her final sacrifice is probably my favourite part of the Star Wars thing so far. I know Greg had the scene with Luke, but that was probably mine.
Oh, absolutely! Visually,
it was great.
It was stunning.
Yeah.
The silence as well, just kind of really drove it home. You don't often see silence in these movies, do you?
No.
See silence, hear silence.
It was pretty much like it was a crack of space itself. It just like this shouldn't happen. This shouldn't be possible. Yeah. And the resulting forces of a ship flying at light speed into another immovable object.
I think say what you want to say what you want about the new Star Wars and any Star Wars. Say what you want about the films overall, but they have never done set piece cinematography badly.
No.
Like set piece cinematography, like just off the top of my head, that scene, the on crate with the trailing of the red salt, was it, or something like that?
Yeah.
Rogue One with the fucking the explosion coming towards them where the Death Star's shot on that planet.
Yeah.
Beautiful, yeah, absolutely beautiful. Just time and time again, just kind of like, wow, These are set piece shots, and they drag you. They don't just lull you into the world. They drag you into the world. Like, yes, come here, watch this. You are now a Star Wars fan. I love that for it. I think it's one of the best things that it has going for it. And it's just it's visually stunning.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I did like this film a lot. Like we said, it's Star Wars. A bad Star Wars is still a good film.
I don't even think it's a bad Star Wars.
Sorry, not that I'm saying that this is bad, but I liked it a lot. But it I think it missed the mark in quite a few areas.
It could have been better.
I think it's better than all the prequels. Yeah, I think it's better than all the prequels. I don't think it's better than Force Awakens.
No.
And I don't think it's better than
Rogue One.
Oh no, it's way better than Rogue One. Jesus Christ.
I liked Rogue One.
I like Rogue One, but it's way better.
I would put Rogue One in the middle. I would put Rogue One in the middle.
No, I'd put Rogue One above the prequels. I think.
I'm ignoring them. Yeah, the shit.
Yeah. Rogue One had a bunch
I'm on about the new ones, the most recent 3.
Yeah.
I would put Rogue One in the middle. I would put Force Awakens first.
I'd put Rogue One at the bottom of that list, I think.
Of all Star Wars?
No,
of the new 3.
Of the new 3, sorry. I don't know. I think Rogue One might take it for me. Is it comparing it to this one, to The Last Jedi?
So in the middle, like Ben.
Yeah, I think so.
Right.
Yeah. Force Awakens is definitely the top of the 3.
It's the way it tied it back. I think the defining thing was that final scene with Vader, and I think that has pulled that entire film up for me. I just bringing it all back to the originals. You can't fault that.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Rogue One wasn't without its issues. It had bad character development and.
But all 3 of them have, in a way.
I don't know about that.
No, I meant criticism. So we've criticised the first one for being too much like New Hope.
Yeah, none of them are flawless.
This one's missed its mark on certain points, and Rogue One obviously it wasn't part of the. It was a filler. It was a money grabber, but it did what it intended to do, which was fill the gap between 4 and the originals.
Yeah,
the prequels, sorry.
I've only seen The Last Jedi the once, so it's gonna be one of them. I'll have a definitive opinion on it when I've seen it a couple of times. Just like, any other Star Wars really.
Yeah.
But yeah, good film, but controversial for sure. Because I know a lot of people are. I mean, you hear this all the time, but a lot of people are saying we want it to be wiped from canon.
Well,
the interesting thing, and I know, Greg, you like looking at ratings, but the interesting thing is when I looked at the ratings, those that have reviewed it have scored it extremely highly.
Yeah.
So 70, 80%. Those that have viewed it, people-wise, have viewed it around 50%.
Yeah. It's very divisive. It's very divisive.
Yeah, I've seen a lot of people saying that it's the best Star Wars to date, and for me, I can't see that at all.
No, I can't see that.
But yeah, good nonetheless. Star Wars is always good. Give me more Star Wars. But yeah, can't wait to see where they go in the 3rd installment. But what's next? Star Wars, Han Solo, I think.
Next year,
yeah. We had our discussion on the Han Solo movie in last year's episode 0. That's on the channel.
Yeah. I don't have much hope for it, to be honest. Well, no, that's wrong. I'm gonna go and watch it. I'm not gonna
have a new hope for it.
I don't have much expectation. Let's put it like that. It might be good. It might not be. I'm not pinning my hopes on it being good. I think these side stories they're all right. The one that I want to see is probably like a Obi-Wan side story. I think that'd sell me on the side stories the most.
Was a Ewan McGregor playing an older?
Yeah, somewhere in between.
His 50s or something.
Yeah, somewhere in between Alec Guinness in New Hope and him at Revenge of the Sith. Yeah. Absolutely.
I love Ewan McGregor's Obi-Wan. I'd love to see that.
Yeah, me too. Yeah.
He's aging as well, so obviously he's aging to the right sort of age to do it as well now. So.
And like I said in that older episode, I don't want to
Fuck
see
Alec
anyone
Guinness.
else.
No, not
Not that one. Not that bit. But fuck Alec Guinness. No, I was a little heated in that moment, and I said fuck Alec Guinness when I really meant fuck Ben Kenobi. Fuck Alec Guinness is Ben Kenobi. No, yeah, I like Alec Guinness. Poor Alec Guinness.
Poor guy.
Yeah, sorry. Sorry. I don't want to see anyone else play Han Solo. Just for me, it's Harrison Ford, man. It's just like I don't want to see anyone else play Luke. That would be horrible. And even though a baby played him in a prequel. Yeah.
That
So
doesn't count.
what?
That doesn't count.
No. Yeah, it's just like I'm so attached to these characters. Like I'm sure it'll be good, and like I said at that time, I'm sure there was a lot of fan backlash for the recasting of Obi-Wan and Ewan McGregor and stuff. And they'll no doubt prove me wrong, because they typically cast on point. Donald Glover is Lando, and so on and so forth. I'm always going to see it. There's never been a question, so I'll see it. I'll probably enjoy it, but right now I don't want to see another man in Han Solo's skin, as it were.
That's
in Harrison Ford.
Yeah. That's a way to put it.
But they've said that they're gonna delve into Han obtaining the Falcon and stuff like. Do you remember the dice? The dice that was in The Last Jedi?
Yeah.
In the Falcon?
Yeah.
You got that. That's a thing they brought back from A New Hope. That was in the Falcon in one scene. That those dice were never seen again.
Right. So clearly that's going to
trilogy.
be the plot of the next thing, isn't it?
Yeah.
That's going to be pivotal in Han Solo movie.
I think. I guess spoilers if you don't want to know. I don't know. Should I say? I don't know.
Apparently those, it is.
How it's something to do with those dice.
No, fuck it. No, I've not said.
Fuck it.
I don't know what you're on about. So I don't know either.
Apparently those dice is how Han obtains the Falcon in whatever game he plays with Lando.
Right.
So that's
okay.
I know that's not too much of a plot, but you know how people can be. Yeah. So yeah, that's Star Wars.
Oh.
All right, let's wrap. This has been episode 5 of the Dig Site podcast, and we will speak with you soon.